You know, I remember you covered the Kevin Samuels' death the first time and whatnot, and you and your cohort there, you know, you guys had didn't have really you had a kind of disparaging view of it, and you know, from what I see, yeah, you had a disparaging view. You know, you said that you went with the party line that he was attacking black women and shit. Went with that party line, but actually, as we know, he was trying to help black women and shit. He was trying to bring them back to the proverbial table, that metaphorical table that does not exist. And, in the wake of his death and whatnot, we've seen a lot more men say fuck it and turn their backs to a lot of these black women that were revealed to be, you know, semi-closeted misandrists, toxic misandrists, nuclear misandrists and whatnot. But I remember when you covered it before, and you really had dirty mouth to say and shit. The reason I'm making this commentary is because you said that you never listened to the controversial episode where he told that woman, "You're average at best." You know, I remember that. You know, everybody knows that clip and whatnot, and I don't believe you. Okay, that's just my personal belief. I don't believe you never looked at that clip and whatnot. A lot of women looked at that clip and they saw their version of reality. But when real people, regular people with common sense and, you know, who know what they're looking at right in front of their eyes, right there on their phones and their laptops and whatnot, that female, and I will say female, right, a business owner with a 13-year-old son, you know, some other attributes and whatnot, but the negatives outweigh the positives. He asked her a series of questions, and he was using the kid gloves, right? He was using the kid gloves. He wasn't just antagonistic out of nowhere, but she kept pushing him because she wanted the answer that she wanted to hear, okay? And she wanted the answer that she wanted to hear. You cannot deny that. And I know you saw that clip, all right? But like a lot of your sisters out there didn't get the answer you wanted. And then Kevin got agitated with her. Kevin got agitated as hell. And that's when he told her that line about you're average at best and you'll probably die alone or whatever. You said something like that. I don't feel like that was out of pocket. This woman was pushing on him. And now that we know he died of hypertension, we know of the thousands upon thousands of, you know, disparaging videos that they put out day by day, capitalizing people eating off his name. He's feeding these people that's eating him alive, like fucking Prometheus. You know, and we all, you know, if you know anything about Greek mythology, you know who Prometheus is, alright? Prometheus is the motherfucker, he's the god of mankind and shit, the Greek god of mankind and technology. He brought fire to man. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to man. And his punishment was that he was snatched up and bound to the rock of fate, where upon every motherfucking day, two eagles would descend and eat his liver while he was screaming for his life up there. And then once they would eat his liver, they would fly away and he would not die. But his liver would grow back. Everything would grow back perfectly. And then the shit would just start the next day. Right? That was Kevin Samuels trying to help black women and shit, who rejoiced at his death and shit. Well, probably being the cause of it and shit, with all this trolling and talking about sexual orientation and just attacking them day after fucking day. Alright? And he still was trying to help black women out. They were calling into a show, Lisa. Alright, Lisa? The women were calling into a show. I want to give you some focus for your, you know, misplaced, anger at that one time, okay? They were calling in. Kevin Samuels would not have no fucking show if the women weren't calling in. He was just talking to men at first, okay? He was doing shit with men, and he wasn't being that nice either. But you didn't see a bunch of troll videos about that, did you? Mostly you have like a lot of content creators out there. A lot of these noxious, toxic misandrists and shit. They have no hope of nothing. These bitter, you know, whatever you want to call them, these Keishas, you know, who had no hope of nothing in the future as far as a relationship, they were pushing that narrative. Right? They were pushing it. Everybody bought the company line, you know, because you women want to see what you want to see. You want to hear what you want to fucking hear and shit. Cause you know, if you didn't, if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, all you have to do is go look up the clip. It's very short, and you will see that woman, him talking to the woman, being as nice as humanly possible when he didn't have to be. When I was looking at the clip, I was just wondering why he didn't just hang up on her, but he was trying to help the woman, and she kept badgering him. So he told her, quite honestly, he asked her what she thought of herself. She had an inflated opinion of herself. Honestly, in real life, she had a big water head and shit, and she looked retarded, okay? He asked her what she thought of herself. And then she kept talking about how she had this great body and shit. She didn't talk about her business or nothing. She didn't talk about any of that. She mentioned that shit, you know, in the clip. She mentioned that, you know, as a selling point. But he kept pointing out that she had a ready-made family. And that men with the kind of money she was looking for wasn't looking to make a ready-made family with somebody that was in her age bracket. But she kept pushing. So then he said, "You're average at best, Lisa." That's what he said, okay? And what happened, you know? He died from hypertension. Right? He was trying to do his job. He was a workaholic and shit. He didn't get to really enjoy his money he made. He died from hypertension. And then all these black women all over the fucking place came down and they ate his liver like Prometheus. And so, you know, I think to myself as I make this commentary and shit, you know, what's the end result of that now? All right? A lot of men are just saying, throwing their hands in the air. And they had enough. They're turning their backs and whatnot. Some of them are just saying fuck it and going monk mode. Some of them are dating out and shit. Some of them are just saying, just sitting idle and shit and just, you know, trying to fortify themselves. Some of them are more focused on their educations and everything. So he did help somebody. He did help somebody, Lisa. Right? He helped us. He helped us to see the truth. That, you know, well, you know, we have to be a SYSBM. That's Save Yourself Black Man, for your information and whatnot. Because the women, they don't care about us. Only our deaths and what we can give them. They only care about what we can give them. And then when we die, much like Black Lives Matter, they weaponize and they profit from our dead bodies and nothing more. Right? They ain't throwing aspersions on you or what you do and shit. But like, you know, I remember you. I remember your tone, okay? I don't think you did that dirty laugh thing you like to do. And I don't think you did that. But I remember and I will never forget. Alright? And I ain't gonna forget none of the other assholes that was out there celebrating his death and whatnot.
I honestly want a six-figure guy, is what I'm realizing.
And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. Off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay, average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like, in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. And you're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair. What do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same. I'm just.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for women that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you ladies need therapy. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here. And I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you. And I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. Tired of y'all doing this shit.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.